tales untold where canvas breathes and colors flow. Welcome to Painting Blue. Tobias perch upon the dong. It must be rung. For chibi charged and songs be sung. No timid brush, no timid crew. We paint like thunder splitting through. He's defender who half divine, born of ink and turpentine. Samurai heart with Irish grin, lets the living ether in. He doesn't plan, just do don't try. He squints one eye, charge a chi, one fearless stroke, the sky turns blue, and dragons hatch from painting. Buck, 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 cock, knick-knock, laid a fortune egg. Open up inside, it says, trust the flow, don't overthink. Follow the ether of ink. Let spirit guide the pouring chi, while Boris grinds ink with teeth. Strike like a tiger, swift and true, just like Garlos would do. Step to the mic, he sets the tone with Manso's crisp meatball calzone. Italian gravy, grape drink too, broadcasting live. Microphone is here with you. From Japanese clan, he leads the way with honor. Sharp as katana spray through stormy doubt and ego stew. He brings life inside of you. So raise your brush like battle axe. Let go of fear and pigment cracks. Let out arrive from cosmic dew and roar it loud. Painting down!
Ah, yes. Happy Monday, you, Viber of Japanita. Put your hands together for our very own petrified primate, Myro the Magical Monkey, praying us in on another glorious episode of Painting You. How are we? Are you where? Are we where? How good is your chi flow on this fine Monday? Ooh. Must not forget microphone. Right. First things first, orientation. Must make sure everything is framed correctly. Micah is a bit too... Get back, Micah. Get back. There we... Fucking... Squeaky Micah. Right. A bit to the left. Desmondo-sama. Stabro-sama. Peterborough-sama. Scouse-sama. Welcome to another glorious episode of Painting Goo. Right. Indeed, I see in my absence that the villagers have yet again caused much an upset, and Desmondo Sama has aroused a Jew on the island. Much shame upon Desmondo Sama for allowing such villainy to occur on our present Paintingo Island. Our beautiful island has been sullied with the presence of a Jew. Something I foresaw. It was only a matter of time before one of those lizard people enters and begins to fuck things up for everyone and everybody. But no matter. I am, of course, prepared for such things. Yeah, that will do for today's goo. I really like this painting goo. I think it is rubbery. It has turned out where. Right. As you can see, I have begun to change the color of the tent on the Wagonu, because I want it to stop blending in with the crowd in the background. So I'm making it browner. Right, how was your weekend? Speak amongst yourselves as we engage the new tuna. Let me see.
Lieutenant Cloudland! Mind the paint, mind the floors, for the love of St. Patty! Use the pump next door! Town Tipperary where the green grass shines, there's a rowdy little odds club fixing up the signs. Paint on the overalls, cleaning them up. Fresh coat, try and don't step on the rug. Patching up windows, fixing every crack. Hammer in the front and the van round back. Friendly little town till you test their grace. Walking for the toilet, you'll get that face. Who's the stranger strolling through the hall? No membership card didn't ring at all. The whole room freezes. Someone drops a bar. You just wander into the Tipperary
Badu, not Badu. Very funny, you. A decent tuna. An excellent start to a new weekoo. Right. Printerbureau has apparently made some more nematoda. Biofilms by Printeroo. Let us investigate. Bacterial mineral water, part 1. Glorious.
The bacterial mineral water system can be refined for balancing any water type. In this example, the system is tuned to a glacial till hard water context, balancing heavy iron and calcium. The system initiates as water leaves the green glass demijohn, our sky pot, raining down to be collected in a salt-glazed stoneware earth pot. A traditional vitrified vessel that maintains a cool, stable environment for a submerged biological engine. The water shatters molecular clusters upon the quartz crystal for immediate structuring. This raised quartz smooth silicate surface creates a piezoelectric thinning of the water to lower turbidity and slow the velocity, allowing a toroidal liquid flow to circulate within the earth pot. Beneath this gap, the water engages the mineral engine of magnesite, noble serpentine, Myphon, to release a balanced flood of magnesium and over 70 essential minerals. The water then moves into the biological housing of paramagnetic black lava basalt and pumice, where natural
pumice.
cultures thrive. These stones contribute a rare earth
Pumice.
including titanium and lithium, which act as high-value catalysts for neurological function. The flow is pulled through a bed of large diatomite stones, which give off an abundance of orthosilicetic acid, strengthening hair, nails, collagen, and bone health, as well as offering an exceptional smooth feel the water enters. A centrally apertured bentonite filter. This custom-designed internal chamber blocks iron scale and sediment while capturing trace aluminum ions. The stream move on for further refinement through matte and elite shungite for fullerene structure and final ionic polishing. The water is then lifted back toward the sky via a non-mechanical airlift system to ensure secondary high oxygen infusion without motor contact, traveling through borosilicate glass return lines. As the water re-enters the egg-shaped sky pot, it is bathed in amethyst-driven, far-infrared vibrations activated by sunlight passing through the green glass to further refine molecular structure. Within this hyperbolic vessel, the water spirals in a continuous vortex for 2 minutes, dissolving oxygen and carbon dioxide to increase its redox potential. In the final stage, the water passes through a 1-inch neodymium magnetic array. This serves as both a final particulate filter and a dipole alignment tool to lock in the structural charge. Because the system utilizes food-grade silicone seals and inert materials throughout, there is zero from plastics or metal components across the 360 daily cycles, ensuring that at any moment, you can harvest living water that is biologically active, mineral dense, and structured for immediate bioavailability.
Sounds rubbery.
What is it about this biology? This glorified germ tank? Couldn't you just get water from a local spring? Why bother? Let's dive back in and take another spin. The sky pot is taking another fresh breath of oxygen as the water rains down into the earth pot once more. An abundance of oxygen provides the terrain for a thriving and beneficial biological community, unlike stagnant waters, where parasitic tracing isolated zones of organic acids to liberate minerals, and carbon wrapping the minerals into a form that works as long-lasting food in the human body, a function of minerals only found in living waters. Unlike stagnant rocks, the system's stone balances geology in a way only found in the few natural springs across the earth. The gentle flow sheds the biofilm and their minerals off and past the filters. The elite shungite helps the biology with its fullerenes structure and these minerals in form. The floating biology raise up and into the sky pot, where the dissolved CO2 from the stone bed is released in the vortex and the oxygen dissolves back in, and finally falling back out, where it's ready for you to collect a mineral-dense glass of living water. But wait, don't stones contain harsh elements like aluminum and lead and other heavy metals? Yes. 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 But wait. Don't stones contain harsh elements like aluminum and lead and other heavy metals?
Lead.
Yes. Yes, they do. But the biology has done the work of cleaning them for you. They act as the canary in the coal mine. If they're healthy, fit, and thin, you can rest easy. Let's take another pass through. It's our third trip now. About 8 minutes has passed since our first time through along the outer edges of the vortex walls. Once invisible ferrous iron is now fully oxidized and gathering into large flocks of iron flake. High oxygen and reduced CO2 has caused a localized pH rise. These conditions force the calcium to solidify and cluster with the developing iron flakes. These microflocks all pass through the sky pot spout, some gathering in the neodymium magnets along the way as the water-free phallus and shatters down again. The water gently streams down the quartz again, entering the cylindrical earth pot at its edge, causing subtle toroidal flow as upper opened waters of the earth pot. The iron flakes are gently pushed to the outer walls, grabbing and flocculating with stray ionic raw zinc, manganese, and calcium, and settling down at the stone bed floor, where an array of glass-coated magnets collect them before they can coat and blind the biofilms and filters below. Iron-loving bacteria are having a feeding frenzy. The once orange iron rust turns black with humic acids as the bacteria fast on the metal flakes. Beneath, the clean biofilms are hard at work
As the bacteria fast on the metal flake.
liberating minerals
Feast,
and organic
you
acids
AI swino!
where they've encountered in aluminum iron. When at once a divine act of nature happens, the abundance of silica released from these acids meets the aluminum iron, and it's immediately bonded. The silica wraps these toxins in a coat of glass, protecting the biology from the harsh aluminum particle. The ratio in these stones is so high that this simple chemistry takes no work from the biofilm. It is a mere chemistry. Around 80-90% of the aluminum is captured in this way. But what about the rest? The bacteria finds these naked ions and wraps them in carbon, protecting themselves and storing it in their biofilm to protect themselves. The same chemistry works for heavy metals, lead, cadmium, nickel, chromium. All these minerals we never think of in our daily lives. In tiny parts per billion are all present present in the simple stones beneath our feet every day. The biology knows them all too well, and does the work of wrapping these minerals in carbon, just as they wrap and utilize magnesium or zinc. And they store them away in their biofilms, safe to the bacteria. But wait, it's shedding. It's
A
contained.
vast mix of typos and funny pronunciations, indeed.
It's releasing into the water.
This foolish robot is illiterate.
Here's a real connector. The aluminum particle flakes off and past the biofilm. It's on its way to the bentonite filter,
That's hilarious.
a clay with high cation exchange capacity and an affinity for
That is a lot of work for just
but it's
drinking
wrapped in
water.
carbon.
Like all of those materials, all of those minerals laid out in that specific way and all, like in glass and shit and all, like
Lead and heavy metal flakes.
when you could just drink from a fucking well.
Passing the filter as well.
Like,
Yes, tiny parts per billion.
Oh, I
wrapped
don't know,
in
like-
carbon. With a neutral charge, pass on right by our clay filter, right past the shungite stones. A rare stone with exception affinity for capturing these specific heavy metals. Except when they are warped in carbon, the contaminant move onward and up into the sky pot. Here they roll and tumble around the outer walls, dancing with the ever-present iron and getting trapped in the sticky iron flock. And out the spout, captured partly by the magnetic neodymium ring, and back into the earth pot, where the heavy metals and iron flakes are collected at last on the glass-coated magnetic array. The amount of heavy metals in proportion to the stones within equates to an equilibrium of between 2 and 12 parts per billion per contaminate. The 360 cycles past this magnet array captures most of them, and the smith is already within safe drinking water limits. So long as the stone count is balanced simple magnets, captured and easily wiped clean. But aluminum is not magnetic, and 10-20% of it is wrapped in carbon. It's a significant amount, 0.40 ppm, about double the drinking water limit, or equal to 4 aluminum cans of soda. But still, it's not attracted to the iron flakes or the magnetic array. It's circulating disguised cloaked. And on its way for the glass, you take a sip. It's headed down your throat. Its carbon wrapper prevents the aluminum's ionic charge from heading straight through your cells.
This stuff to me
and
is like
directly into your bloodstream.
bougie truther stuff.
It's
You know,
getting
like
routed for your stomach disguised as food. Here in the gut,
this to me is like the opposite end of the spectrum of like
is shredded off of the
when you see people paying like 250 grand for a bottle of water that has like a diamond on the cap or some shit. Like
The high volume of orthosilicic
this is the same shit. Like to me, like
the same simple chemistry that helped the
shh.
organic acids are in place in your gut. The silica present in the water is a ratio more than 10.
I fear I got him back in remedial science again. My mind is water grape.
They pounce on it, wrapping an entire
Oh, God.
glass. Single particulates of glass entirely inert to your body.
Like, couldn't you just drink from a fucking well? As a shh.
Passes through your system completely. It's not a scary. It's water. It's L stones. It's life. It happens underneath your feet all day long. Every drop of water you see, filtered through the bedrock. It's not a mystery, but it's right there for you to unlock. Take a sip, live a little.
Contained. Connect the dots, a hungry feed. Threads of hyphae that plot and seed. Sorting the matter, calming the chatter. Toxins within a molecular feed. Raining down, the sky spins high above where the work begins. To the earth, the stone bed floor. Feed the hunger, open the door. Stone eaters, bottom feeder. Building up for you and me. Stone eaters, carbon breather. Biofilms contained, released. Contained, released. Chop, dig, feed on the rest. Charge, wrap, seal on metal crest. Nothing to fear with the poison inside. A silica drip, cast worries aside.
Now this is more like it.
Spiraling up to the sky, charged with breath, underlight, spinning round and shattered down. The design goes round and round. Stone eaters, bottom feeder, building up for you and me. Stone eaters, carbon breather, biofilms contained, release. Contained, released. Released.
I like that one. I like the vibe of that one. Me Reiki, that one. Is that it? Is that all? Yeah, muchtism. Sip backwards is piss. Coincidence? Tofu-sama thinks no. FYI, there are many new tuna. There was backup of tuna in your absence. Ah, in which one? Jazz sectional? Yeah, I like that one. Stone Eater. I want to listen to that again. The vibe off that's really cool. I was getting locked in there.
Contained. Connect the dots, a hungry feed. Threads of hyphae that plot
and seeds, sorting the matter, calming the chatter, toxins within the molecular feed, raining down. The sky spins high above where the work begins. To the earth, a stone bed floor. Feed the hunger, open the door. Stone eaters, bottom feeder, building up for you and me. Stone eaters, carbon breather, biofilms contained, released. Contained, released. Chop, dig, feed on the rest. Charge, wrap, seal on metal crust. Nothing to fear with the poison inside. A silica drip, cast worries aside. Spiraling
Oh yes, cheats in the streets. I remember now. You added it to the Nematol album? Cool.
Building up for you and me. Stone meters, carbon breather, biofilms contained, release.
My apologies for the text message sounder. I forgot to stick it on muter.
Contained, released. Released.
Right, streets and streets. Jeter in the streeter. Painting new reggae mix.
Colors drip, they slide, they fall. Coffee drank, now fuel for more. My hands are messy, my mind's a zoo. Paint, paint, painting goo. Paint goo, painting goo. Painting me, painting you. Sip, sip, red, red. Paint goo, painting goo. Painting goo.
Me Reiki.
Parties on the streets, speeding in my town, always in a hurry, sticking to my bumper like last night's curry. The Corolla dented like the moon, fake engages like their driving skills. The head starts to bobble, the blood it boils, can't handle a little brake check. Are you mad? Wait, don't answer that. I already know you're mad. There are no Bobs and a Jean here, my friend. Just move along to the next open air toilet. You keep it up and you may not make it. Maple monkeys like me won't abide. Get another ride, a flight to the motherland. The gang of calls way up. Fecal Charlie phone grows. You ravage your land, and now you want mine too. Not gonna happen. Go back to the poopy or get a bar of soap. I still have hope. You won't take it from me. If the head bobbles any faster, it might fly off. Just chill and relax. You got nowhere to go. Heard of integration. I think it's time for some remigration. No more poopy for you. The North remembers, so does the soil. Act accordingly, or it will spit you out. Pick up the good book and learn a thing or two. Cause the rep ain't building up, it's just a big pen. Get in the shower and try again. Don't try and shout, you got no ground to stand on. Have some decency now. Sing by that girl a ringtone harder. Pick up the good book and learn a thing or two. Cause the rep ain't building up, it's just a big pen. Get in the shower and try again.
Dangerous arsenal. Instead of lethal weapon. Oh, that's hilarious. I re-uploaded them so you don't have to go looking. Thanks, man. If Dragon Ball Z were set in India, Vegeta would be Pagita. And then Interesting that bacteria eat stones covered in aluminium. And the organic acids also break down silica. If it's 4-to-1 ratio silica to aluminium, the two elements naturally bind, wrapping it in glass. That is interesting. Like, aluminium isn't naturally occurring, is it? It's like an alloy, isn't it? Because you have to make aluminium. So, or am I wrong? Because that wouldn't happen in nature, would it? You wouldn't have like aluminium particles or aluminium dust or aluminium like naturally occurring on rock. Which then kind of makes sense. Tons of stones apparently as aluminium silicas. Tons of stones apparently have aluminium slash silicas. Is that what you were saying there? Interesting. Because I thought aluminium was a man-made alloy. Because then that makes sense why the whole fluoride situation, because during the process of making aluminium, yeah, like they're a mix of aluminium and silica. That's fascinating. So there's man-made aluminium and naturally occurring aluminium. Although I suppose you could say that like all known substances, whether they're man-made or not, would technically, to some degree, exist naturally. It's just the alchemical processes that we uh, engage in create like synthetic forms of them. Did I just lick paint off my fingers? Because like even something like cocaine, like you have to fucking like process the shit out of the pot. Is it the poppy leaf or the cocoa leaf? You put it through petrol and all this fucking shit, and you get like cocaine. But that's just like a distillation process, really. Like all you're doing is pulling out what's already there. You're essentially chemically mining for what you're looking for, specifically one thing. That is fascinating though. I've heard of all sorts of bacteria can eat all sorts of stuff. Like there's plastic eating bacteria and all that. Like the whole notion of things that like aren't biodegradable. Like obviously certain stones last for millennia, from what we can tell. Certain stone structures just like keep going. They don't like get degraded by water or wind or it's like, you know, bacteria or algae or some kind of mold or rot. Bauxite is a sedimentary type stone that contains the highest levels of aluminium, allegedly. That's fascinating. So the aluminium that we would think of typically that's forged or synthesized is a form of aluminium. I genuinely thought that aluminium was like man-made. Would the same be true of like brass and stuff then? Because like, don't you have to make brass? Like alloy metals are a mix of two and shit like that. Like that'd be an interesting rabbit hole to go down. Yeah, I don't think aluminium is found in like gems of aluminium. Yeah, like that's what I mean. It's like there's particulates, but it's not like you're gonna find I'm getting deja vu. Did we have a conversation very similar to this, or the same conversation not too long ago? Yeah, that's interesting. it'd be an interesting rabbit hole to go down of like what the mainstream like has told us is like a made thing versus like what aspects of those minerals or materials are actually in nature, but just not in the way we would think they are, or to the degree that we think they are. That's interesting. But yeah, apparently it's everywhere. Yeah, because like isn't like wasn't Christopher Gardner saying stuff like there's like uranium and plutonium in like your garden and shit. It's just very, 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 very minute levels, like, which gives you the sense that like or not even gives you the sense, it would lead you to believe that it's kind of like, doesn't the Bible say that it's like everything you need is like always around you, like limitless abundance and all that, like all known resources and materials are contained within everything to a varied degree. Like, didn't they say that about like DMT, where like you can get DMT from a rat, or you can get DMT from a flower. It's just how much of it can you get, and there's like a certain amount of gold in human blood and shit. It's fascinating. For those of you who aren't used to my speech patterns, I wasn't saying there's a certain amount of gold in human blood and feces. I was just saying and shit as in stuff. When I said that there, I was like, but like who knows? There probably is like, based on the line of reasoning that we're currently speculating upon. Maybe there is a minute level of like, man, there's a conspiracy for you. Like, like, imagine like all the fucking like plumbing and piping and shit. Like, you know, it's like, oh yeah, 90% of diseases were like gotten rid of when we like started doing sewers and, you know, plumbing and all this shit. Like, well, like, what if the same way that like you can take piss and you can like extract urea and stuff like that, and like they used to use piss to clean things and all. What if human fecal matter, what if human poo, human shit is just like manure from a cow, or that dung from a cow is like incredibly useful depending on what you're doing, whether you're like growing food or whatever. Like, what if the same thing can be said of human shit? Because I've asked that question before. Like, you know, if we use the milk from other creatures, we use the skin from other creatures, we use the blood from other creatures, the bones from other creatures, like we use all this stuff. So what can humans be used for? And everyone gets like all like, whoa, when that kind of subject matter is broached. But like, isn't that like a insane level of hypocrisy? We're like, Grifu-sama. Isn't that like an insane level of hypocrisy where like we use all of these animals in our surroundings for various means, like, you know, like everything from like poison from a frog to put on darts, to cow shit, to milk from a goat. So all these different things, like, you know, like silk from a silkworm, like, you know, like we use all these things. What uses us? Or can we use ourselves, our own materials, like, you know? And then you look at the whole like who farms humans? Is it other humans, or is it like some kind of parasitic entity, or like lizard people, or gods, or some shit that like, or aliens that harvest humans the way humans harvest? Because if everything is fractal, you know, as above, so below and all, then the whole notion that we're the apex predator and that we have dominion over this realm, I think is a lot of bullshit. maybe at one stage we were granted authority and dominion over all we could touch, see, and hear, or smell, or whatever. But things change. Like, I seriously believe that, like, all of our religions, all of our myths and legends and stuff, we're talking about gods and angels and all this shit. Like, I think we've anthropomorphized something else, and we look at it through the lens of like, isn't it funny that like angels are depicted as like humans with wings? You know, like Jesus himself is supposed to be like God incarnate, and it's a guy. He's depicted as just a human being. Oh, but he's God incarnate. But he's still just a guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, it makes more sense logically to me that a superior being would have a superior form. You know? Like, we've got bigger brains than most of the mammals and stuff and like around us, which serves a purpose, which like allows us to use tools and so on, allegedly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you just look at the brain as like a receiver of information and shit, then we've got the biggest receiver. We have the highest capacity for like, linguistics, complex system understanding, all this stuff, and belief systems, like the whole placebo effect thing. Like, what a human believes, if many humans believe a certain thing, it almost assuredly becomes a reality. So if something was superior to us, would it not have a superior form? Or at least not like a superior organ? Like, isn't that why they always depicted aliens with like bigger heads? Because they had bigger brains. Seems a bit, simplistic, but like, simple is usually the best thing. Like, and then you have all this like stories of like the DMT elves and all these aliens and stuff that you can see, all these creatures, demons, entities, when you're like tripping out on high powered hallucinogenic stuff and all. Like, it just makes a lot of sense to me that like we're not it, and think about like, right, like, so if cows were more conscious than they are, but we still wanted to farm them for resources, like consistently and reliably, wouldn't one of the most ingenious ways of keeping them within a certain mindset and a certain level of like awareness and consciousness, wouldn't creating religion be a way of doing that? You create the idea of a god, a supernatural being that is beyond your comprehension, blah blah. Like, so, like, you take the sheep, all right. Ewan McFleece and his flock, right, are under the authority of the shepherd, because the shepherd is a human, and the human understands things and is aware of things that they don't understand and they're not aware of, which grants him an advantage and subsequently an authority if he so chooses to engage in that. So he's like, I want the wool, I want the milk, I want the meat. So I'm going to pen them in, and I'm going to like, manage their awareness and their consciousness and their physical reality. I'm going to limit them. I'm going to limit them so that they're easier to manage for me. So if you're a superior being to human beings, is that not what religion is? Where it's like you limit them, you give them a framework of like, you were made by God and you have these limitations, and you come from here, and you like, it's the same thing. Like, it's like secular science with the whole Big Bang theory is literally just the same thing at the opposite end of the spectrum of when you get to like, oh no, we came from the primordial forces, and like God was a consciousness that like took primordial ooze, and his will, his omnipotent will, forged earth and all known creatures and the laws of physics and like and all this shit. And then he created us to have dominion over this and blah blah. Like, you give them a story so that they don't question things. But then inevitably they end up questioning things because there's like holes in the story, you know? The more you ruminate over it, like, and like that's the sort of thing that would lead me to believe that like human beings are way more powerful than we think we are. And that we've been limited by some sort of like, you know, apex predator relative to us. Because like animals are capable of animals in the wild are capable of way more than they are in captivity. You know? Like the whole thing of like how quickly a fucking pig will change back into a hog if you let them back out in the wild. They'll grow hair, their tusks will get all big and sharp and stuff and all, like. So like imagine what a human being would become if we weren't like like mentally and spiritually like influenced to like stay in the pen that we're in. You know, would we look more like the Monkey King, like the Hanuman, where like we're way more physically capable, like jump 30 feet in the air and all this fucking shit, like, you know, laser beam eyes, all this fucking crap, like we could fly, fucking. A lot of that stuff actually makes a lot of sense to me, like, where like we've been tricked on such a fundamental root level because we've been told a story that we believe, which makes a lot of sense because if our minds are capable of manifesting stuff that we believe to be real, you know, like you dream things into reality, then if something wanted to farm humans and predate upon us for whatever reason, like the whole, like one of the teachings in martial arts is you use your enemy's power against him. Like, what is he really good at? Okay, how can we use that against him? Or, okay, well, what are humans really good at? Well, they can dream up some incredible shit, and if they can think of it and they can dream of it, and then they collectively do it together, they will figure out a way to manifest it in reality, like. Okay, well, let's use that against them. Let's tell them a story so they believe something to be real, so that becomes real. It's like the orcs from Warhammer 40k. It's like, if they genuinely believe it works, well, then it fucking works. It's like this. It's that. So like, that's not even like it's a genius, like, you know, chess move, but like at the same time, it's not like it's not beyond our comprehension. It's not beyond our capacity to understand that. Like. You could see humans doing that to other humans. It doesn't even need to be an alien or a god or a demon or a fucking any of these things. It could just be a group of humans who came to the realization that the best way to farm other human beings is to tell them a story. And then that could lead you to be like, oh, so it's the Jews again. It's like, well, maybe not, like, you know. Like, it could be a demon thing. It could be an entity. It could be a form of consciousness. It could be some form of parasite or whatever, like. So I find that shit fascinating to, like, ponder. Where I'm like, why do we do the things that we do now when we've obviously done, like, way more incredible shit in the past? Like, if you look at an IKEA warehouse or an Amazon warehouse, that's like just that's like a child's drawing compared to like the Sistine Chapel. When you like, if you compare an IKEA warehouse to like the Sistine Chapel or like the was it the Notre Dame in France? Like, isn't that a cathedral as well? or is it the church? Is it a church? I can't remember. Like we've obviously done incredible shit, whether it was our idea or not. Like, do you know what I mean? Because you have all these people who are like, you know, oh, the knowledge was given to us by aliens or gods or like whatever. Like, we still pulled it off though. Like, we still have like enough of an ability to understand things. Like, that something of superior intellect, or even just superior experience. Like, you know, if somebody's further along in a game than you are, right? And they turn around to you and you're like, oh yeah, like the game will open up and become like a completely different game if you learn how to do these various things. And then they teach you the basics of these various things and they're like, right, off you go. And then like you're just like, you're good enough at following instruction and understanding what you're doing that you're like, oh, I can do all this stuff now. I have all these new tools now. I have all these new skills. I have all these new abilities. And then it just like feeds itself. That doesn't necessarily mean that the person who taught you the thing was actually superior to you. They were just further ahead. They just knew stuff that you didn't know at the time. So that whole notion of like, you know, Lucifer, the light bringer, and like, you know, fucking something superior giving us a technology that we didn't have before doesn't necessarily equate to them being more advanced or more intelligent. If anything, it could simply equate to they've been around longer, or they were here before us. And they were like, oh, hey, you know, did you know you could do this? You know, hey, Margie. There's a Roper alter ego out there somewhere. He doesn't drink pee. There's a Topher alter ego out there somewhere. He's into something darker. Oh, imagine, like, yeah, no, definitely. Like, there's some lunatic out there who eats his own shit, like, and not from like an animalistic, degenerative point of view. Like he probably puts it through some kind of alchemical process to try and like distill some kind of useful resource from it. Like, and the idea of that would be like, most people would be like, oh my god, you eat your own shit. Like, do you know what I mean? But they're like that about, you know, oh my god, you drink your own piss anyway. Like, so like, I've been thinking about a lot of stuff like that lately, where I'm like, if you just simply change your perspective and mindset on like fucking anything, then like the whole thing of, you know, like what is right, what is wrong, how, like, who decides these things? And if, like, typically it'd start from like, well, what works and what doesn't, what promotes life and what doesn't, you know? Because like life is good and true and beautiful and all these things. Like, we like beautiful things. We like things that work. We like things that like bring us pleasure and all these things and all, like. But that is like one half of existence. The other half of existence is death, things that break down, ugly stuff, and things that don't bring you pleasure, they bring you pain. Like, do you mean, so like suffering, cruelty, you know, like malevolence, evil, like they are two halves of a whole. So when you say that you're like, I'm a good guy, like what does that even mean? Does that mean that you only partake in the good, the true, and the beautiful? But doesn't that mean that you're only partaking in half of existence itself? It's like when Owen says, it's like he makes that great point of like, an honest criminal is more honorable than a lying priest. Do you know what I mean? It's like someone who claims to be on the side of good, but behaves in a manner that is like hypocritical and contradictory to their claimed identity. You know, like you could totally imagine like a god, like if he was going to judge you at the end of time or whatever, like at the end of your life, like Anubis is standing there weighing your heart against the fetter. If you like killed and butchered and like did a lot of stuff that a lot of people, like most people, would be like, oh my god, that's like mind-blowingly evil. But if you did it in a certain way for a certain reason, and if from your perspective you genuinely thought you were doing what you thought was the right thing, and you had a logical and rational, like that's why really well thought out villains in storylines are quite often very relatable and the most memorable. And lots of us are like, oh, he's such a cool bad guy. It's like, if the notion of good and evil was black and white, then the good guy would always win and the bad guy would always lose, and everybody would always hate the bad guy and everybody would always love the good guy. But quite often, like how cool is Agent Smith? You know, Darth Vader, fucking Darth Maul, Jason. You know, like from fucking what are the movies? Friday the 13th and stuff, like Freddy Krueger, the Hellraiser guys, like fucking Tai Lung from Kung Fu Panda. Like, that's a great bad guy. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like Dexter. Yeah, Dexter. Like, yes, he's a murdering psychopath. Yes, he does horrible shit. Yes, the aura of him is creepy. But like, he does only kill other horrible people, and you can easily make the argument that, like, he's serving a good, like, he's like helping the good side of the chessboard by like eliminating bad guys on the bad side of the chessboard. Do you know, it's like he's an undercover psychopath. Like, do you know, it's like, it's fascinating to me, like, because like, how are you going to make the argument, like, metaphysically or whatever, like spiritually and like metaphysically, how are you going to make the argument that, like, any individual knows ultimately, like, you know, oh, I know the difference between right and wrong. Sure, like, to a point, you know. Like, if you just wake up in the morning, you start beating the shit out of your kids, that's obviously not like most of the time, pretty much all the time, that would be a bad thing. But there would be a small percentage where, if, like, depending on the environment, depending on the child, and depending on like how severe the beating is, you might get that effect where, like, that kid grows up to be like an Alexander or a fucking Napoleon or a fucking Hitler, or like you see where I'm coming from, where it's like, and like, that makes sense because that's what the elites are known to do, is like they traumatize the fuck out of their kids because it brings forth greatness. Because if you just have a really nice life, you're going to be like a, in quotes, good person, but you're not going to achieve anything extra. You're just going to go to work. You're going to find, you know, a woman that you're attracted to, that, you know, she's nice or whatever. Like, you know, you'll get married, you'll have kids, you'll be good to the kids. Like, maybe you lose your temper, like, now and again or some shit, or maybe you're a bitch now and again, or like, it'll be very, like, the fucking graph of your life will be very just like in the middle. And the life that your soul lives won't be like, there will be loads of people like you. You won't be that unique. But if we are like Stardust, and if we are like, you know, fucking every soul is unique and all this fucking shit, like, which I don't necessarily believe. I would believe that, like, some souls are like, what if the Jews are right about that, in a sense that, like, there are different kinds of human beings. There's different kinds of souls, where, like, you have a soul like me. You know, like, I'm a bit fucked up. I have a bit of trauma in my past. Like, fuck all people are doing what I'm doing in the way that I'm doing it. Like, I'm quite unique. Owen's quite unique. Christopher Garden is unique. Like, there's very few, like, it'd be hard to find another person like Christopher Garden or Tom Barnett. Like, you'd be more able to find somebody like, you know, some guy that works in your local grocery store, or even like your average maths teacher or scientist or something like you could find a load of people that almost have a doppelganger. Like, do you know what I mean? You could find a load of people that like you could compare them to other people in similar environments or even different environments and be like, Jesus, that's like the same dude. It's fascinating, like how initially when you look at stuff, it's like, because I've gone through that where like I look at like all the in quotes bad stuff and I'm like, okay, all that's wrong. But then there's like an emptiness that you get left with where you're like, but then, so you're supposed to only be good then? And like you could make the argument from the Christian perspective of like, yes, the narrow is the way, you know. But if the way is narrow, then you miss all of this because you're only focused on this. So you're going through existence like a fucking drill, and you miss everything else. And like this isn't an argument to like be evil, but like it's an observation from a point of like, well, if you only engage in like, in quotes, good stuff, then you're only going to like typically like, sure, even if you only engage in quotes good stuff, you'll still come across like trials, tribulations, but you probably won't come across like trauma, you know, like stuff that like changes you, stuff that like alters your perspective, stuff that like metaphorically sends you down like the Dante's Inferno levels of hell thing, where like your soul descends and your consciousness and your frequency descends, and you come across all these like different things and people and ways of life and experiences and feelings and emotions and thoughts, and then you get to a point where you're like, oh my god, like I don't want to experience this shit anymore. And then so you raise your frequency again, but you've learned all this stuff, you've seen all these things that you would not have experienced otherwise. It's fascinating. So awesome to see me on big screen. Yeah, like you're practically the only one that gets like a fucking landscape, which is awesome. I think like I like this. Like I said at the start, I like how this painting is turning out. I know it's not like the same style as Staburu-sama and Desmondu-sama, but I think it'll still work, because when we do the whole like, when we do all of us in the one painting, when I like Photoshop everybody in, we could just have you in the background, like going down the road in the back, like, you know. So you're still there, but you're like doing your job, you know. I will not forget the phrase. I'll do it now. Hello, Tonio. Welcome to Painting Goo. How are you? Great honor for Nova and I. Yeah, so you're liking the painting, yeah? Oh, it's 3 tall. Oh, what's the crack, man? I was wondering. I was like, who the fuck is Tony? Welcome, 3 tall. You honor us with your presence. Yeah, I'm gonna put like a magic collar on Nova. And I'm thinking like I might put something like dangling from here or something like that. Like I don't know what this is. Some kind of winch. I'm thinking I might put it like a chain or some shit, like, because it'd be like a winch thing to like help you load the wagon or something. And then I need to make the clouds wider. maybe put a bit more detail on you. I don't know if I'm gonna like give you like eyes, cause like you're moving really quickly and you're like focused, so you'd be kind of a blur. So I think the way I've done you works. Um, it's been a while, indeed. I actually can't remember the last time you were on the stream. Haven't a clue. Welcome back. Yeah, like I think if like I could put you like I could put like little tiny pupils or some shit like but if anything I think it kind of I've captured a good essence there, and I think if I try and go in and give you eyes, you might fuck it up a bit. Because honestly, I think I kind of like not that I fucked it up, but I think I did. I think I detracted from Stabaru Sama's avatar a little bit when I put the eyes in. Part of me thinks I should have left him just like vague, you know. Beardo is accurate. Need more Irish wispy hair. I will put more wisps in. Yeah, no eyes. Yeah, I agree. Like I completely agree. Yeah, like I think the vagueness is good. Obviously, I gave Nova eyes because trying to make her. I didn't want to look. I didn't want her looking like a fierce kind of thing. I want her to look like kind of big and cute and cuddly and shit. And then the ox is grand looking the way it is. I need to remake flesh color though and fucking get rid of whatever the fuck that. There's like a black mark on you here. I need to get rid of that. But anyway, right. It's time for phrase of day. So, Jesus, it's pouring down out there. With the help of my feathery friend, Tobias Speakus Crows, we shall announce today's phrase of day. That was a bit that was a bit shit. It may be a small gong, but it's a mighty song.
With the ding of my tiny donga, with this mighty song that I send cleansing vibrations through the interwebs to cleanse you filthy mortals of your dirty, filthy chi, and allow it to flow freely as I announce today's phrase of the day.
Today's phrase of day is as follows. When you let out a silent but deadly fart, look into the eyes of the person trapped in the elevator with you and ask, do you think that's air you're breathing? That's diabolical. That's diabolically hilarious. Love the microphone. Ah, yes, our resident Bracketarian Jew, microphone. He's not even plugged in anymore because I'm not using the laptop. Oh, it's hilarious. The microphone is a prop. Like everything is a prop, even the mic. Like, oh man, I love this stream. Microphone. Pouring down here too. Yeah, fucking look, we had 4 or 5 days of like, it was like, what's the equivalent? It was like 85, 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It was like, 20, anywhere between 27 and 30 degrees Celsius here for about 4 or 5 days. Beautiful. Even today, it's like lovely and warm. It's like, yeah, it's like 17 degrees right now. So I don't know what, that's probably like 50, 60 Fahrenheit for you guys or something. It's very humid. It's very warm, stuffy. Like, but fucking rain is like insane the past 48 hours. Where it's just like, handy thing is I don't need to water the beds. My vegetables are getting well fed by God. Ugh. Sourdough and spreadable cheese. Glorious. I fucking love soft cheese. Soft spreadable cheese on sourdough toast. Ugh. Fucking amazing. Right, where were we? Let's start this one again. Dangerous Arsener. I always thought this kind of music was hilarious, like, because it's like sexy, but it's sad, which is a weird combo. It's like melancholy, horny, like it's a weird combination. Like, it's so sensual, but it's dying slowly. Roquefort cheese is a guilty pleasure of mine. Why is it a guilty pleasure? Because it's stinky? It's fucking from the Three Musketeers. Rochefort. Isn't that a kind of cheese? I love that movie. It's pricey because it's imported from France. That is very gay. So, like, it's very bougie. Like, Griff, what do you think? Will I just give her a bright pink collar but make it all spiky? Or will I give her like some kind of Chinese magic collar that, like, that's the reason why she's now like the size of a bear? In a dark and dank cave in the countryside. Oh, made from sheep. It's made from sheep's milk. I don't think I've ever had Rochefort. Rochefort? When I went over to visit Julie, or Juju, in France, fucking one of the cheeses she had, like, fucking foul smelling, like, nearly made the female puke all over the kitchen, like. And I love cheese, like, and I just like lifted the package open. I was just like, Jesus Christ! I can't remember what it was. I can't remember the name of it. It smelled like fuck. It smelled like death and shit. It was bad, like. Boursin is not bad, the pepper one. Yeah, like, I like my cheese simple. You know what I mean? An aged, crumbly, like a hard white cheddar. Just like, but I also like, if I'm gonna get bougie, this is probably as bougie as I get with cheese. Is smoked applewood. It's a soft cheese. You can get a big wedge of it in Tesco for like £4 or something like. I really like that. Goes amazing on a burger. It's fucking amazing on a burger with a bit of barbecue sauce. But I'm one of those people, I'll just grab, like, I will just eat cheese. Just on its own. I'll get like a significant block of cheese and just eat the fucking thing. Man, I fucking love 80s music. It's so cool. Ha! I like my cheese like I like my cheese the way I like my women, with no penis. I like my cheese the way I like my women. Sandcock. Oh, that's hilarious. Whenever we get around to doing a painting, Dick Fordu, welcome you. Whenever we get around to do a painting you cartoon or anime or whatever, because it will happen one day. Like, it can't not happen. We have too much lore to get through. Fucking I kind of want the soundtrack to be like 80s music. It'd be fucking brilliant. Painting you. It'd be fucking brilliant. Oh, is that all? Is that all? Right. Okay. I was really liking the fucking jazz that you put up the other day. The jazz that's not jazz. It's what did Scouts call it? Elevator music. It's fucking brilliant. There's loads of them, isn't there? Yeah. I think you put more. Oh no, yeah, I think we actually got through most of them because like the Delta one is at the end and stuff. Right, I'll just start it from the start. This shit was chill as fuck. Okay, what was I doing? Yeah, the put on hold music, yeah. That's what it was, yeah. This is the music you hear when you put on hold. We're sorry, all of our agents are currently busy. Please chill out to these fine tunes, and we'll be with you as soon as possible. Don't be gay now. Chintzy music. I'll put a few spikes on the collar, but then I'll put like a medallion coming down with like a Chinese symbol on it or something like. To generally explain her massive size. Is Tony 3-thought? Yeah, Margie. That's 3-thought, yeah. You need rough cuff shorts to be in a band that plays this music. Oh, that's hilarious. Alright, you make flesh core. Fucking hate when I forget to mute the phone. It annoys the fuck out of me. Did you say all our Asians are busy? I said agents, but Asians is so much better. We're sorry. All of our Asians are busy right now. And we fired all of our whites. They expect a living wage. Goddamn demons. Oh, pretty much nailed it. It's fucking transparent though. All our Asians are busy as funny as fuck. We're sorry. We currently don't have any foreign imports to answer your call. They all are napping because of Ramadan. Draw, you fuck. Our resident tiger, Brother Garos, would like to remind you to like and subscribe, you cunter. And remember, pay for painting you if you have any honor. Or your ancestors will look upon you with great shame. Smash that like button! Slap it! Like it's insulted your mother. Ugh, sumimasen. Micah is looking particularly derpy today. Yeah. He is. Oh, those fucking eyes. And I love the Rook of Nova. She is fabulous. Yeah, she turned out well. For a bit there, I was like, oh god, she looks like shit. But like, no, yeah, she turned out well. The collar will put a finishing touch on her. Please stay on the Rhine, and the next available Asian will assist you. Excellent painting you. Domo! Scouseborough-sama. Domo. Oh, it's going to take so many layers of whiter until I am happy with the crowds. Let me see.
sidewalk shine. Left the rush and the race on time. Found a road with a morning breeze, and the earth still listens when you plant it. I traded steel and stone for open land, for dirt on my boots and callous hands. Watch my children learn what growing means from the work you do in the in-between. It's a quiet kind of wealth I hope. Life I learned is better than gold. Sun comes up on a weathered field. Every lesson honest, every promise real. They learn that nothing good comes fast, but roots grow deep when you make things last. I traded steel and stone for open land, dirt on my boots and calloused hands. Watch my children learn what growing means from the work you do for the in-between. Every night the sky puts on its show. Every star says more than we know. I raise my glass to the grace I find in the gifts we're given, one day at a time. She's right beside me, porch light low, laughing soft as the evening slows. From vines we tended, a simple wine, proof that love improves.
Right, my beloved Japanita. I must leave you now. You have had enough goo for today, and I have other shit to do.
I hope you've enjoyed today's painting, Goo. I enjoyed painting for you. And fucking philosophizing and talking a load of shit. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. If you haven't paid for painting, Goo, pay for painting, Goo. Or you have no honor, and your ancestors will shame you from the great beyond and turn in their grave and show you their ass and fart at you. I hope you've enjoyed today's painting. I enjoyed painting for you.
Remember to pay for painting, goo,
Fucking philosophize.
or you have no honor.
I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. If you haven't paid for painting, Goo, pay for painting, Goo, or you have no honor, and your ancestors will shame you from the great beyond and turn in their grave and show you their
Sayonara, my beloved Japanita, and I will see you soon.
I hope you've enjoyed today's painting, Goo. I enjoyed painting for you. And fucking philosophizing and talking a load of shite.